Flat Deuce traveled a long way to reach his destination. He flew 532 miles to Brook Park, Ohio. When he first got here, he had to say hello to me, Aunt Petey, then to Uncle Joe, next to his cousin Wrigley, and his cousin Amelia. Brook Park, Ohio is where the red dot is. It's a little bigger than Fort Mill, and there are 19,063 people living here. Brook Park is just 13 miles southwest of a big city, Cleveland, Ohio. We are part of the Great Lakes region because we sit on one of the 5 Great Lakes, Lake Erie. We have very different weather than South Carolina. As you can see, Flat Deuce was a little unsure of all the snow. We have very cold, snowy winters and warm summers, although not as warm as you guys. The first fun thing we got to do was go on a field trip with my students. I teach 6th grade. We went to the Great Lakes Science Center. They had a special exhibit about ancient Egypt, which was a lot of fun. The students built a pyramid and they let me sit on top. Next, Flat Deuce and I got to sit on a camel. After the ancient Egypt stuff, we learned about electric currents, and we had fun with the mirrors. The very next day, Flat Deuce got to go to the Cleveland Browns Stadium with Uncle Joe. They got to go in the locker room and down on the field. And then when they came home, we had some fun with the computer. And we made Flat Deuce bigger than the whole stadium. Next, we went to the Cleveland Hopkins International Airport where we waited for a flight so we could go to Nashville, Tennessee. We traveled 508 miles to Nashville. We did a lot of fun things while we were there. It's a really cool city. The most fun thing we did was go to the Grand Ole Opry. It's a radio show that puts on concerts at the same time. We really enjoyed the music that night, and Flat Deuce really enjoyed hanging out at the Opry House and taking pictures. When we got back to school, it was another field trip to the Cleveland Metro Park Zoo. And boy, was it cold. Flat Deuce was not happy with me that day. But he did have fun with my students, and my students really liked Flat Deuce. His favorite part of the zoo was, of course, the penguins. We ended our trip with some sightseeing and interesting facts. We went to Lake Erie. It's the 10th largest lake in the world. A big concern about the lake is that people aren't keeping it clean. Cleveland and lots of cities around, like Brook Park, depend on Lake Erie for many things. Next, we stopped at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It was built in 1995 to educate people from around the world about rock and roll. It's a cool-looking building right along the Lake Erie shore. Behind us now are some buildings in downtown Cleveland. We ended our whole trip with a trip to Deuce's favorite store, Under Armour.